Nanoose Endangered Wetland and Wildlife Sanctuary consists of a network of swamps, creeks, streams, waterfalls, and vernal pools. Vernal pools are seasonal depressional wetlands that occur under the Mediterranean climate conditions of the West Coast. These can be connected to each other by vernal swales. This ecosystem is increasingly being threatened. As quoted by Linda Nolan and Bill Jeffries, wetlands are the kidneys of the earth because they filter and clean the water that flows through them. But they are also the bladders of the earth by virtue of their water storage ability. For their role in transforming nutrients, wetlands are also the earth's digestive tract, and for their ability to filter toxins, they are the liver as well. Most wildlife in the province uses wetland habitat at some
This is
point
where the
in their
beaver
life
dam
cycle.
is, and he's building,
Many birds
and there
feed
are
and
his
nest
2
in
marks.
wetlands at certain times of the year. Numerous frogs, toads, newts, and salamanders, which are at risk, live and reproduce there. Owls, bats, beaver, bear, deer, elk, and many more hunt and graze in wetlands. Many species of fish use these wetlands for up to the first 3 years of their life. Wetlands are the powerhouses of all energy and life. The CDF-MM forested wetlands are among the highest productive ecosystems on Earth, ranking among the coral reefs and tropical rainforests in terms of primary productivity. 1 hectare of wetland can store up to 14 million liters of water, acting like a giant sponge to slowly release the water over the drier months. This is critical for the health of all communities, and especially those which are on wells such as this one in Nanoose Bay. Numerous wells have dried up in the area, and with increasing demands being placed on water consumption from land development, it is imperative to protect all sources of groundwater. Nanoose Endangered Wetland and Wildlife Sanctuary, being a forested wetland, is one of the rarest and largest carbon sinks today. These forested wetlands protect communities against flooding and droughts. Logging this land poses potential serious flooding to all the homes within close proximity to the area. It also displaces and destroys all of the wildlife which coexists in there. There is nowhere for them to go because this land has been clear-cut on all 3 sides, with a gravel pit on one of those sides. This land has remained untouched for nearly 100 years. It is CDF-MM Crown land with old-growth coastal Douglas fir, mature coastal Douglas fir, and red and blue-listed plant and animal species at risk. There are western screech owls, which have all but nearly vanished. It is a watershed for our wells. It is a wildlife sanctuary. It is our production of clean air. It is the headwaters for fish-bearing Nanoose Creek, with its trees providing cooling of the water to prevent fish mortality. It is our lifeline to survival as an interconnected species. Nanoose Endangered Wetland and Wildlife Sanctuary is your real-life replica of the magical land Pandora from the blockbuster movie Avatar. People that I have shown this forest to have commented how this is just like Avatar and the sacred land of Pandora. Unfortunately, the sky people from the movie are real in our world. The interconnectedness of all that lives is not being acknowledged for its infinite value. Only the short-term monetary gain of what lies in the ground and above the ground is what the government ministries see. In an unattributed email response from the ministry sent to the local Parksville Qualicum Beach News. I quote, "Ecologists identified the most suitable areas to represent red-listed plant communities within the coastal Douglas fir ecosystems in the long term. Also considered in this final selection of parcels pegged for formal protection were parcel size, ecological diversity, and riparian features, as well as economic factors represented from timber and gravel values. There is less than 1% of old growth left, and only 3% of these sensitive ecosystems protected. All that lives and breathes is dependent upon these types of forests. Why is the Canadian government saying this has to be protected, and yet they are now telling us this doesn't cut the grade? With no in-depth ground studies ever done on this parcel, I wonder how they arrived at that conclusion. We have a beautiful forested wetland, teeming with wildlife, abundant in water, with towering old-growth trees, everything that is necessary for the survival of all species on this planet. We share the planet. Please help protect this land and save it from being logged now and for all the generations to come. Our very existence depends upon it." I quote by Thomas Fuller, "We never know the worth of water till the well is dry."